Hello, metalheads. This is your metalhead friend here, Bud Dean Langley here, and I'm here for another album review. And this album review is going to be about the new Overkill album titled The Wings of War. Just came out today, February 22nd, 2019. But before I talk about the album just came out today, February 22nd, 2019, and I just finished it up on Amazon Music not too long ago, so I'm here to present y'all my thoughts on the album, since this is the review of the new Overkill album. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and read y'all off a short note here. Alright, The Wings of War is the first Overkill album with new drummer Jason Bittner after Ron Lipnicki left shortly after The Grinding Wheel was released in 2017. So yeah, this new album, they have a new drummer with the album because former drummer Ron Lipnicki, he left the band shortly after they released their 2017 album, which was titled The Grinding Wheel, which was another really good Overkill album. But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about The Wings of War, guys. Alright, The Wings of War, this new drummer, he's one of the main reasons why The Wings of War is a fantastic album. Another reason is because of the fast-paced guitar riffs and outstanding guitar riffs as well. Bobby Blitz Ellsworth's vocals on this album are amazing, just like they were in 2017, just like they were in the 90s, and just like they were in the 80s. Bobby Blitz Ellsworth, he's definitely one of the best vocalists in thrash metal history, in my opinion, and he is. Overkill, they're one of the best thrash metal bands in thrash metal history, in my opinion, because this band, every time I listen to them, they never disappoint me. They really don't. Overkill, I love this band, and I'm glad that I discovered them. And why do you guys think I put them in my as my number one on top 10? Okay, why do you guys think I put Overkill as the number one spot on top 10 thrash metal bands part 2, which was my just recent video before this one? And I put Overkill as number one. Why? Because, well, like I said before, they're very underrated. Bobby Blitz Ellsworth, hell of a vocalist, very underrated. The band overall, though, they're very underrated. They definitely deserve more recognition, but The Wings of War, as far as it goes, like I said before, I really like the new drummer, Jason Bittner. Every drummer that this band's had, though, that I noticed, they've all sounded similar, which is just a great thing, because just because a band gets a new drummer doesn't mean that it's a bad album, because drummers, they usually prove on why that they're a drummer, and these drummers, they're super talented, but the whole band overall, Overkill, they're a really multi-talented and super talented band. I don't know why they're not more recognized by metalheads, you know. But yeah, The Wings of War, though, this album is fantastic. I love the drumming from Jason Bittner. I mean, Ron Lipnicki, he was great, but I think Jason is another one who's really great. So, I didn't even know that Overkill got a new drummer for this album until I was on Wikipedia, like, when the album was shortly announced, back in, like, whenever they announced that their new album was coming out on February 22nd, 2019. Shortly after that or whatever, I was looking on Wikipedia and seeing if they had an article about the new Overkill album, The Wings of War, in which they do, and it tells you that this is their first album with drummer Jason Bittner, and the first one not to include Ron Lipnicki since their 2005 album. Even though even though Ron Lipnicki wasn't even a part of the 2005 album, he was in the band from like 2005 to 2017, but his first album with the band was in 2007, and that's for Ron Lipnicki, who was no longer in the band because he left shortly in 2017 after they released their 18th album, which is called The Grinding Wheel. But 19 albums in, guys, Overkill, they're another band that definitely is underrated, and these guys definitely deserve more recognition. But I feel like I'm talking about the band more than I am the album, but it's true, guys, it really is. As far as this album goes, The guitar riffs, badass and kick-ass. The vocals from Bobby Blitz Ellsworth, the same thing, badass and kick-ass, and the drumming, badass and kick-ass. But this whole album, though, I really like this whole album, and it reminds me of Judas Priest's 2018 album called Firepower, and I can definitely compare the two albums together. Why? Because not just because they're in the modern era of heavy metal. I mean, I know they're two different styles of metal. Judas Priest is heavy metal and Overkill is thrash metal, but you just compare these two bands in 2018 and 2019 and you can definitely see why they're very similar to each other. Like Firepower by Judas Priest, fucking love that album. And I love The Wings of War by Overkill as well. I mean, I wasn't trying to compare Overkill to Judas Priest because they're definitely different styles of metal, but I'm just trying to compare them together because Firepower and The Wings of War, they're just really similar to me because they just go by really, really fast, but that's all music basically. But these albums, though, the reason why I'm comparing them is because they both have amazing vocalists, they both have amazing guitarists and amazing drummings, and overall amazing songs. But enough about that. But yeah, this album, The Wings of War, is another fantastic Overkill album. I mean, I know, guys, I'm bad at album reviews. I apologize about that, but I'm not no genius here. I just try to give out my opinion. I mean, I know I'm not no big YouTuber or nothing. I'm far from that, but at least when I review an album, I try to give my opinion on it, whether I like it or hate it. But this album, there's definitely no hate for it because this album is fucking amazing, and this is their first album since The Grinding Wheel, which is from 2017. But yeah, The Wings of War, this fucking album is amazing, and I definitely recommend my subscribers to watch this album review, and I definitely recommend them also to check out this new Overkill album because they will see for themselves on why I think this album is kick-ass and badass. But that's basically all I got for y'all. Definitely a 10 out of a 10, guys. That's the rating for The Wings of War by Overkill. A 10 out of a 10 because, like I said, this album proves on why Overkill needs to be talked about more when it comes to top 10 lists and etc. But yeah, Overkill, badass new album, and I definitely love this album, and I definitely will check it out more in 2019. I only listened to it one time, but I had to hurry and get this review made, but I feel like I got my thoughts out for it. I definitely love the album. I wish I had more to say, but I really don't know what else to say but what I said. But other than that, this album gets a 10 out of a 10. Sorry about the bad album review, but I'm not really good at it when I review albums. I try, but I'm not good. But we all make mistakes in life. But other than that, this album is a 10 out of a 10, like I said. But that's about it, guys, for this album review. Definitely check out this album because y'all would love it, and y'all will see why I gave it a 10 out of a 10 because it's amazing. But other than that, I'll see y'all next time. Thanks for watching. Keep rocking the fuck on. I'm out, and peace.